Not only was Michael Jordan considered the most dominant player in the league, but he was also regarded as the GOAT of basketball after winning his fourth ring in 1996. When the greatest basketball minds break down Michael Jordan's toughest finals opponents, legendary names such as Charles Barkley's MVP-led Phoenix Suns or the powerhouse Seattle Supersonics fronted by high-flying all-stars Shawn Kemp and Gary Payton are always mentioned.
And bang, it took a toll on Mike. It took a toll, and then
But there's one team MJ and the Bulls faced not once, but twice, the Utah Jazz. The Stockton Malone Jazz era may be largely forgotten outside of Utah, but their resume speaks for itself. In 18 seasons together, Malone and Stockton led the Jazz to 12 regular seasons with 50 or more wins, including 3 seasons of 60-plus wins from 1994 to 1998. They made 18 straight playoff appearances and reached the finals twice, only to face the same brutal reality that Charles Barkley and others before them learned.
And I'll tell you, Sean, that's the first time in my life I felt like, I said, damn, that guy's better at basketball than me.
Before we dive into that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. When the top-seeded Bulls met the Jazz in the 1997 finals, Chicago was fresh off an impressive 69-win regular season, chasing their 5th ring. Jordan, fueled by another one of his "I took it personally" campaigns after missing out on the MVP award, was laser-focused.
Do you want to prove still that you're the best player in the game?
It didn't hurt. Honestly, it did not hurt. But I still want to prove something as an individual and as a team.
Meanwhile, the 64-win Jazz had just survived a hard-fought Western Conference Finals against their rivals, the Houston Rockets.
Houston trails 3-2. But Charles Barkley knows a Rockets victory keeps his hopes of a ring alive, while a Jazz win means John Stockton and Karl Malone head to their first.
Karl Malone, who had just won his first MVP by ranking 2nd in scoring, 27.4 points per game, 10th in rebounds, 9.9 rebounds per game, and 6th in field goal percentage, .550, was not going to back down just because he was facing Jordan. With John Stockton running the point, Utah was determined. After all, they had split the regular season series with the Bulls and tied them for the league's best offense, averaging 103.1 points per game. However, Utah dropped the first 2 games in Chicago. Game 1 was a heartbreaker, 84-82, with Jordan coming through in the clutch as usual. With 35.8 seconds left, MJ made one of 2 free throws to tie the game at 82. Then, Malone, fouled by Dennis Rodman with 9.2 seconds remaining, missed both of his free throws, setting the stage for Scottie Pippen's iconic trash talk, "The mailman don't deliver on Sundays."
I was pretty good friends with Karl, actually, so I just walked by him and said, "The mailman don't deliver on Sundays."
Jordan rebounded the miss, called a timeout, and then drained a 20-footer at the buzzer to give the Bulls a 1-0 series lead. As the LA Times' Mark Heisler put it at the time, MVP voters proposeth, but Michael Jordan disposeth. Game 2 was a more decisive 97-85 Bulls win. John Stockton struggled with turnovers under Ron Harper's defense, and Karl Malone followed up a subpar Game 1 with a 6 of 20 shooting performance. To make matters worse, Malone re-aggravated a hand injury from the Western Conference Finals. When the series shifted to Salt Lake City for Games 3 through 5, it was time for the Jazz to respond. Malone exploded for 37 points in Game 3, while Stockton added 17 points and 12 assists. Game 4 was Stockton's moment, hitting clutch shots, making defensive plays, and a brilliant pass late in the game to tie the series 2-2. The Bulls uncharacteristically fell apart in the clutch. The Jazz, an experienced and battle-tested team in their own right, perhaps were due to pull out a close contest. But was there an unexpected reason the Bulls faltered in Game 4? It was later revealed that a Bulls assistant accidentally replaced their Gatorade with Gator Load, a supplement designed for carb loading. Trainer Chip Schaefer explained, "It was like eating baked potatoes." The result? Several Bulls players, including Jordan, complained of stomach cramps, and Jordan even asked to sit for a time, something he never did at a key moment. A noted defensive adjustment Jazz coach Jerry Sloan made after the finals move to SLC was to assign the relatively unknown specialist Brian Russell to guard Jordan. Jordan's efficiency dropped in Utah, shooting just 41% from the field, and with fewer trips to the free throw line. After scoring 31 and 38 points in games 1 and 2, he managed only 26 and 22 in games 3 and 4. But MJ wasn't about to give Russell all the credit. "His defense is active, but I don't see how he's stopping me from doing what I want," Jordan said with a subtle dig. "Is it Brian or Byron?" he added with a smirk. Russell didn't stay quiet. "I can get him back. Is it Michael or Michelle?" Ouch!
I wanted to make sure you understood you made a mistake, dude.
Did you really have to poke the bull? Have you not heard about Jordan's propensity to find external fuel and motivation, even in the tiniest slights? As it turned out, the Bulls would need every bit of fuel Jordan could muster. There are several stories about what happened the night before Game 5. One theory, from Bulls sharpshooter, now Warriors coach, Steve Kerr, suggests altitude sickness.
He got sick, and I think it might have had to do with the altitude.
Another, discussed by former player Jalen Rose, speculates that Jordan had too much to drink and was hungover. The most popular version is food poisoning. The resort in Park City, Utah, where the Bulls stayed, had no room service. Jordan asked his trainer, Tim Grover, to get him food.
I ordered the pizza, and then about, an hour later.
And the only option was a local pizza place. It seems the locals knew who the delivery was for.
I open up the door, and there's literally 5 guys standing out there to deliver a pizza.
Later that night, around 3 a.m., Grover was called back to Jordan's room. Michael was sick. Grover and the team doctor assessed his condition and worked on treatment options. Some on the team weren't sure Jordan would be able to play, but as Grover and Phil Jackson recall, Jordan had no doubt. "Just get me standing, I will do the rest."
He said he was going to play. He goes, "Just get me standing, I will do the rest."
With Jordan far from 100%, Scottie Pippen had to take on more of the scoring load.
I could just see it in his eye. He was weak, and I just wanted to be more offensive minded and stay aggressive.
The game plan was to use Pippen as the focal point of the triangle offense in the post, forcing the Jazz to double team him and then pass the ball back to Jordan or find open shooters and cutters. The plan didn't work well early. Utah contested post catches and helped on Pippen, forcing Jordan to create more than he wanted, draining his energy. The Jazz won the first quarter 29-16, and Jordan managed only 4 points, looking exhausted. His teammates didn't fare much better. They dropped easy passes, allowed Stockton easy drives to the paint, and gave up offensive rebounds off missed free throws. The Bulls bounced back in the second quarter, winning it 33-24. Jordan, re-energized, scored 17 points and drew 5 shooting fouls, reminding Utah that he was still in the game. Harper, Kukoc, Pippen, and Longley all contributed key plays. Rodman, tasked with guarding Karl Malone from the opening tip, drew Malone's third foul, forcing him to sit for the last 5 minutes of the half. Chicago entered the second half down by 4. Jordan's third quarter was rough, but this time, his teammates picked him up. The Bulls' defense shut down Utah's normally efficient offense, slowing the pace of the game. Ideal for Chicago, who needed to preserve Jordan's energy for the final quarter. Up 72-67 entering the fourth, Utah had to know what was coming. Sure enough, Jordan opened the quarter on fire, scoring 10 points in just 2 minutes and assisting Kukoc on a transition 3. He paid a steep price for each burst of effort, though. At one point, cameras caught him on the bench with an ice pack on his neck, too drained to even high-five or talk. But as soon as play resumed, he flashed across the court, received the ball on the right wing, and hit a jumper over Russell. The game turned into a grind, with Chicago's defense stifling Utah's offense, and Malone struggling, missing key free throws, settling for jumpers, and committing fouls. Stockton's deep 3 broke a tie with 3 minutes left, but Jordan quickly responded. This was, as Bill Simmons would say, a car crash game. You knew what was coming, but you couldn't stop it or look away. Even when things went wrong for Jordan, he still found a way to come out on top, like when he scrambled for a loose ball after his own missed free throw with 44 seconds left and the game tied at 85. Then came the defining moment of the game. Jordan passed the ball into the post to Pippen, guarded by the smaller Jeff Hornacek. Brian Russell rushed to help, leaving Jordan open. Pippen passed it back, and Jordan sank a three-pointer with Stockton arriving too late to contest. Malone could only watch from under the rim as the shot went in. The mailman was so shook up that after Utah scored on the next possession, he either forgot to foul to stop the clock or hesitated, worried about fouling out with just 14 seconds left and the Jazz down by 1. Bill Walton couldn't believe it.
Karl Malone, what are you doing?
This game is no doubt one of the greatest in NBA Finals history. Jordan finished with 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. A performance rivaling rookie Magic Johnson's game without Kareem in 1980 or LeBron James's Game 6 against the Warriors in 2016. But Jordan playing 44 minutes on the verge of collapse elevates the flu game into a legendary status. It's a game you'll never forget.
It was one of those games that you just want to be a part of.
That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Was it the best NBA Finals performance ever? Let us know what you thought down in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.